Hello, good evening to everyone watching. Today, it's grounded football people, Manchester United. I know some of you are annoyed, frustrated, tilted, completely ollie out, overreacting as per. But we are here to discuss all things Manchester United. With me today, we got Papa Indy, who's muted, so he can't moan. We got Naj, welcome back. And we've got Neeks. Welcome back, Neeks. Danny will be joining us very soon. Big up Velv in the comment section. Liverpool win the quadruple. Let's not speak. But guys, we have to start with the game on the weekend. We have to. Southampton. Listen, we haven't spoken about this, so we have to speak about it. Southampton won. Manchester United won. Guys, talk to me. We'll start off with Neeks. I've heard Indiana and Naj's views on it. Let's start off with Neeks. What are you saying, Neeks, about the game?
I was just disappointed. It was a bit deflating in the sense of we had such a good start to the season, electric start. Brilliant result in front of a full Old Trafford crowd. I'm not saying a lot of people wanted us to say, now we're gonna win the league. And I was never gonna fall into that trap. But for 90 minutes and a week and 90 minutes, it was good to dream that maybe that possibility can happen this season. And then reality hit 90 minutes later against Southampton, and we realized, I guess, what we have been, and what we still need to do in terms of players, in terms of coaching, if we are gonna go and win the league. And in the same weekend, you're seeing Chelsea destroy Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City destroy their teams. And of course, it's Norwich, it's Burnley, and they're at home. We did against Leeds, but it's just a big come down from the first week. And it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to get overly upset about it. Like I wasn't overly gassed about beating Leeds, but I wanted a bit of momentum. I want us to win start the season strong. At least act like you mean business. Let me fall into the trap in it, even if you're not going to win it in the end. Act like you mean business. But now we go into the next game. We're thinking, what Man United is going to turn up, and 3 games in, that's not a good sign. But yeah, it was just disappointing. We had chances to win the game, but ultimately, across the 90 minutes, we didn't play very well. That's just we were good enough to create the chances to win the game, but we can't come out of the game like, Southampton were lucky. Southampton, they scraped a point. They didn't scrape the point. They would argue that they were well deserved the point, and in the end, through our sloppiness, we gifted them arguably the best chance in the game, outside of the goal. So yeah, just deflating really.
No, I hear that. It was. Do you know what? I found it incredibly annoying to watch, and it was just so similar to a lot of what we saw last season, which is why it was very frustrating for me anyway. But Naj, talk to me. Do you agree with Neeks or?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally agree with Neeks. Both teams could have won. They had the chances, but yeah, Southampton had the biggest chance. I think a draw is deserved for both teams. We didn't do enough. I don't think they did enough neither. So yeah, tactically not good enough. The personnel not good enough. The midfield not good enough. Yeah, it was that performance. We saw those performances last season. That's what frustrates me. I wanted to see something new this season. And second games, after a game like Leeds at home, seeing that straight back to reality. But we kind of knew, because we really need that defensive midfielder. Because Matic, I was very disappointed with Matic in this game. He was the guy.
I wasn't that disappointed in the sense that I don't expect anything from Matic anymore.
Yeah.
If he gives me a good performance, I'm shocked. I am shocked.
I expect him to do he's the senior guy. He's seen it all, been there, done that, and I saw him panicking on the ball, and that's not what I want to see from Matic. Like, I know he's not going to play every game, but when Oli plays him, he has to be an 8 out of 10 every time. He's not going to play every game, but then again, against Southampton with the pressing and everything, it wasn't a game for him really. So
I agree. No, I agree. Like, before the game, I was like, Matic and Fred versus a higher pressing team.
yeah.
I'm not so sure about it. I'm really not. I don't. We know what those two are like. They're very slow on the ball. Sometimes they take a bit of time to take control of the ball. And when Southampton are in your face, they're not going to get a chance, and they're going to be forced to rush their passes. They're not the kind of players that will turn in tight areas and just sort of bypass their midfielders. They're not going to do that. So I was surprised they both played, to be honest with you. But Indy.
But I still sorry.
No, go on, carry on.
I still expect Matic to do better. Honestly, like.
No,
there was that time where in the beginning of the second half, like I told you, Rach, there was a long ball played to him. He had the time to test it down. He had acres of space around him. Just held it back, like panicking. He came back 1 second later. He just did the same thing. Like just bring it down, play it back to Maguire, or do something like recycle the ball. He was just doing like all the basic stuff. Everyone was on to Fred, but I thought Matic was absolutely shocking. But maybe wrong personnel. Wasn't a game for him. And still.
No, I hear that. Indy, I know you were pretty pissed at this game, and I know that you were a lot more pissed than I expected you to be. Like, you were worse than me, and like, you know me, I'm.
He's only out. He just needs to say it. He's only out.
I'm almost there, Nix.
I know you are. You're there. You're there.
I'm almost there. When I seen that lineup, I was just like, wow. Matic and Fred. We already know that doesn't work. Like, throwing Martial in there, I didn't see a huge problem with it, providing he performs. After 5 to 10 minutes, you get a fair idea of where Martial is and how he's going to perform on the pitch. And I get you can't take him off after 5-10 minutes, but take him off at half time. Just take him off at half time. It's not like you haven't got options. That's why you buy more forwards, so you've got more options. In terms of the midfield, wow. Well, do you know that we've just said that we deserved a draw? We didn't deserve a draw. Not with the players we have. I don't agree with that at all. It's the same. You can't. I'm sorry. There's many options on the bench you can bring on. You could. There's a number of things he could have changed. Like why is? I will ask the question. Why is Varane on the bench? For one, why is he on the bench? I think Southampton's a pretty good game to start him in, if I'm honest, or bring him on at half time, or to bed him in. I think it's quite good. Test of Premier League football. Southampton are probably one of the best teams you could play against to do that. It's not like they've got incredible forwards, but he will see the pace of the game and get used to it. Sancho, I don't know what's going on there either. I've got no idea. I don't
know. Yeah, if I took big up West Man United Analytics. When it comes to starting lineup, well, in terms of Sancho and Varane, we all want to see them. And of course, it's a long season, and they're on long contracts. It's not we have to play them in the second game of their career or else. So I'm not massively angry at either one of them not playing. I understand in terms of the fact that when you move Greenwood from the striking position to right wing, it's like, why would you do that? You're better off playing Sancho instead of and enable Greenwood to stay through the middle. I get that. There's some people who would have been very happy with the front four because Martial, their favourites up there. Others who don't see Martial in the same light are like, well, he should be on the bench. At some point, especially over the next 6 games, all these players need to play because we're going to come to an October where we're going to be playing the Big Six and we're playing Champions League. League Cup's going to be around, and everyone's going to need to be available to play. And we can't have them playing their first game against Man City or their first game in the Champions League. So I'm not necessarily saying every of all the 11, he was correct to play because he's not, especially with the midfield two. But at some point, if we play Greenwood and Sancho in this game, Martial needs to play a game. So then Martial plays against Wolves, and then we draw because Martial's rusty and he hasn't played a proper game since.
No, I'm with you.
So,
no, I do agree with that, Nix. But like I said, if Martial's having that type of game, take him off after half time. Take him off. He's not a little baby. He's 26 years old. Like he must understand that if he's having a bad game, then he's going to be taken off. Like I don't.
Obviously, we scored a goal. I think with 50 odd minutes, and Martial came off pretty much straight after, and Sancho came on. So I think even though, let's say he missed the window 10 minutes earlier, i.e. to take him up at half time, it didn't cause that much damage because we got the equaliser whilst Martial was on the pitch. Then we took him off immediately. The issue is that the next two substitutions, both in timing and personnel, we saw that the Matic and Fred was not working. We most of us probably knew it wasn't going to work from the outset, but we saw it wasn't working in reality. Matic came off, was the last one to come off, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
He came off at the end.
and he brings on Lingard.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, one, Lingard shouldn't even be at the club. That's the first thing. Two, Lingard hasn't really, well, he's had COVID. Van der Beek's been playing in the pivot in pre-season. He looks fit. He looks ready. And three, you're moving Pogba back into central midfield when you need a goal to accommodate Lingard, who shouldn't be at the club.
None of it made any sense.
Who ain't half as good as Pogba to now go and get a goal. That substitution, both in timing and in personnel, made zero sense. He would have been better off. I think he waited a bit too long for McTominay one anyway. But at that point, make two subs. You bring on McTominay and you bring on Van der Beek, and you give them 15, 20 minutes to go and affect the game. Those two things are the midfield two.
It's criminal needs.
Substitutions was my issue. I don't have a massive issue with Varane not starting and Sancho not starting because at some point the squad needs games, and I don't. When do you give it to it? When do you give Martial games, for example?
No, I agree. I agree with the Martial. I don't have an issue with him starting games because he needs them. That's cool. But when you already know what Martial you're going to get after, let's say 25 minutes, you know what Martial you're going to get. You know whether his head's in the game or not. So that's where I am with him. In terms of the midfield partnership, we all know what that is. My frustration is that it feels like the same. We've added personnel, like quality players, and the mistakes are still the same. The mistakes haven't changed. Like we can all see that as fans, what the problem was on the pitch, and it's the same mistakes, and that's what I'm frustrated at. And you said something earlier, Neeks, that you weren't overly hyped or overly disappointed with the two results. I think the difference. I think what happened was that we were entertained in the Leeds game, right? It was exciting to watch because there were goals, and all it felt for me watching against Southampton was frustration. I was frustrated at players not stepping up. I was frustrated at passes, and for me, if you're having that type of game, then you need to make positive changes, and I don't think Jesse Lingard was any sort of positive substitution for me, in my opinion. I don't get that one.
It must have been trying to put him in the shop window for West Ham or something, and then Ben Rama the next day said, "No, boss, you don't need him. I'm the real deal." So I didn't. Lingard. When I saw it, I was like, "That must be." Ahmed Diallo had some bleaching cream. That was not Lingard coming off the bench. It didn't make no sense to me.
Oh my God. Bleaching cream. No. Do you know what? The Lingard one was the one that was more confusing with me. So the Sancho one was a positive move in the sense that he took off Martial, probably felt that he didn't play well enough overall. He brought on Sancho, played Greenwood in the middle. And then the Lingard one was strange to me because he put Lingard on the left. And then he put Pogba. Why is there two Indianas?
One Indiana is bad enough, bloody yeah.
Damn. What do we do here? Okay. Yeah, so I just felt the Lingard substitution was very, very strange. But Danny, welcome. What did you make of the Southampton game?
Where did you start with that football match? Quickly, two left-footed players in midfield. I don't understand. I'll never understand. You don't do it centre back. You don't do it in midfield for me. So unbalanced midfield from the get-go. I don't know why Ollie believes in Martial. Makes no sense to me. We need him this season. Maybe wait to the Newcastle game. I don't know. He messed that one up. We should have scored from set pieces. We didn't. Those changed football matches. We lost our confidence. Second half, we get the goal. We have a 10-minute spell with dominant, which I was happy about. And he brought on Sancho at 58 minutes. So when Ollie's decisive, it's like, you know, he's like an anime character who's got one big move. Once he makes that one big move and it don't work, he's got nothing else for you. For the rest of the battle, he's just talking in his head. This guy used this technique. I've never seen anything like that before. What do I do? Oh my God, he's faster than me. This never happened to me. It's just nothing but head talk for like 20 minutes because his big move didn't work.
What is it, spirit bomb and inshallah? Is that what you're saying?
He's like Vegeta. Goes in hot, thinks he's all right.
Lets them transform. And he gets beaten the crap out of.
But you know what it is? Beyond Ollie, yeah, he deserves some blame, most of it. But those players, yeah, Luke Shaw's wearing baggy shorts. You know what that means, right? You know what it means when he starts wearing baggy shorts, right? Yeah, why is he wearing baggy shorts? As thick as his legs are, he's wearing baggy shorts. Come on, he's hiding something. I ain't fooled by that. Wan-Bissaka's a concern because he had the summer off. Doesn't seem to have benefited him. He weren't good against Leeds, by the way. Neville was sure they got away with it against Leeds. Fred wasn't good against Leeds. He got away with it as well. So, yeah, the players were shit. We could have won the game. We didn't. I was pissed on the day. I had to put my phone down. Stay off Twitter. I was like, if I see a tweet from Johnny, I'm going to lose my shit. Go spend some time with the fam. I'm over it now. I'm looking forward to the next game. But Ollie has to get the team right. He just has to get the just no Martial and no two left-footed midfielders in central midfield. The back four, I can't be mad at it. Lindelof was excellent against Leeds, cool. But yeah, Varane has to come in, Sancho has to come in, and Ollie needs to just win games and then bring on Martial or whoever. Just win the game first. That's all. That's all.
No, I hear that.
Can I just say something? So, Donny van der Beek, his agent, has said the most important thing is that the coach Solskjaer has now provided clarity in the press. We are happy with that. I assume that Donny will play a lot in one of the positions in midfield in the coming period.
Listen, Donny van der Beek ain't playing no games for Man United. Yeah? Until I see it, until I see an alien come out of that UFO, yeah, I don't buy it. I'm telling people, strap in. You ain't gonna see Donny.
I mean, this is a player that stayed on the bench when he stayed on the bench while another player who had COVID just 2 weeks before got on the pitch. A player who we are planning to sell, apparently.
Oh, and the player who got on before him, McTominay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the player who's not really a footballer in Fred started.
Listen, do you guys think Van der Beek's playing? You guys are funny. Carry on.
I think he will get games, yeah.
He should be. There's no reason not to.
Listen, Danny, he'll get games just to sell him. He'll get games.
That's what he was doing with Lingard. Only was selling that way too much. He was selling that way too much.
Yeah, no.
Just dropped 5 mil off his value as well.
Yeah, probably.
Well, speaking of value and midfielders, we've been linked with a few midfielders recently. There's Camavinga, there's Saul Niguez, and there is Ruben Neves. Seem to be the big three at the moment. Personally, I'm not sure about any of them in terms of what we need, but give me your views. What do you guys make of or any of them? Is there anyone out of the three that sort of stands out for you, which we should get?
Can I just ask a question though to follow up? What two Camavinga left-footed, Saul left? What's going on?
Is Camavinga left-footed?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Fred dropped.
We're the only one that finds this strange. That we potentially have. You assume Matic might leave if we get one of these guys, but we're going to have 4 left-footed midfielders.
Trying to sell Fred.
So Ruben Neves it is then.
But I've never seen that before. I've never seen 2 left-footed midfielders in the same team before. But 3 in the squad.
Trying to sell Fred, isn't it? Must be.
You wish, Neeks. Don't get my hopes up. Yeah. Come next summer, my prediction, he'll get a 1-year extension. We'll delay. We'll dilly-dally like Fred and not do anything about it. So Camavinga, good player for the future.
Yes.
Not doing anything for us this season in terms of winning things.
Agreed.
So, haven't watched him enough, but when I do watch Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, Koke runs that midfield.
Yes.
He's the centerpiece of that midfield. I was checking Y-Scout to see where he plays. He plays. Listen, I've seen there's some games where Simeone just puts him at left wing back sometimes.
Yep.
When he's doing that to somebody, I don't want that.
I've told you, Danny, he's the Spanish James Milner.
You have something
with better shooting ability.
But he's Spanish, so like you can't, you know what I mean? So you've got the Spanish flavour, so people rate him more. Right? If James Milner was Spanish, you rate him higher.
Yeah,
I rated James Milner, to be fair. I thought he was underrated as a player.
But yeah,
players like that are always underrated, though, aren't they?
You see me, for me, you're either gonna have to go for a proper anchor man. I know you don't have a real anchor man these days, but a proper anchor man is gonna sit and hold the midfield by themselves, or you go for a deep line playmaker. I don't think we need any more box to box midfielders. Because I think you've got McTominay, you've got Van der Beek, you've got Fred. Now, obviously, some are better in one box than the other. Some aren't very good at all. But that's their role. So unless you're getting rid of 1 or 2 of them, to get another one to fulfill that role, I think is excessive.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need someone who basically replaces Matic. And I say that not to say he has to be the exact same style, but in the position that he plays. When he plays, he's obviously the deepest of the midfield too, and deepest of the whole midfield in general. And so you either go and get an Ndidi type player, Casemiro, Fabinho, or you go and get a Ruben Neves. A Ruben Neves who is going to take the ball off the back four and he's comfortable in passing, spraying it around, whatever, or giving it to the more creative players. And he's not afraid to tackle. No, he's not an Ndidi, but he's not afraid to tackle. He's not a weak in the midfield. But next to him, you go and put someone who I guess is going to go and get forward. So whether that be a Fred or a McTominay in that midfield, I don't even really want a Declan Rice for the price they're asking. I don't really want a Camavinga. And I don't really want a Saul Niguez. He's better than McTominay. He's better than Fred. But then you still have the question of who do you play next to him, and it's not going to be Pogba. So I think you still don't have the balance of the midfield, even though he's an upgrade on one of the players.
Who do you want, Neeks?
Ruben Neves.
You want Neves?
I want Ndidi, but you have to be realistic. We're not going to get Ndidi.
No, but let me challenge you on that, Neeks. He's not going to retire at Leicester. He's not going to retire.
No, it's the price. They're going to want 80+ million for him.
That's fine that they want that, but this is my problem. Neves is cool, but I don't want him. But if he comes, cool. He's a better player than certainly we have. My thing is, when I say Ndidi go to a rival, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to say to Man United fans, I told you we shouldn't settle. That man is going to leave soon. Get him. The same way we're waiting for Haaland. By the way, I don't care if Oli buys him. It's the next one. Man United Football Club have to get him at some point. Same way we're waiting for Haaland. Do the same thing for Ndidi. Wait, get a right back, get Trippier, and because there's better midfielders out there.
But Danny, I don't think getting Neves stops you from getting Ndidi. But I think getting a Declan Rice will. You're not going to get Declan Rice and Ndidi because, but of course you have to sell Fred. Matic will have to leave, and you can go and get an Ndidi. I don't think selling Neves. Buying Neves stops you from getting an Ndidi. I think they're players that can play together.
I'll tell you why it does. Your logic is correct because you're thinking sensibly. I'm convinced that our owners or whoever runs it, Joe Glazer, whoever's talking football operations, we can call it that. He just sees bodies in midfield.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
doesn't care about the profile. So as soon as you bring Neves in and one goes out, it's not going to be a priority to find him the right partner.
No,
So-
but Fred needs to leave next summer, and then
But I'm
that's
telling you, we're going to extend Fred's contract by 1 year and dilly-dally on it. That's what's going to happen. So Neeks
Yeah.
is logic, I can't argue with it, but I know how my football club is run. If we get basically at Man United, managers live by their signings. You got Wan-Bissaka, you've got to live and die by him. There's no replacement. You don't get a second chance for signing sometimes at Man United. It's just it is what it is. Like so. Look, if Neves comes in, not mad at it. He's a good football player. But give me Ndidi. Give me Shemani. Just give me a dominant football player. And then I'll worry about getting a Neves or a technical player next to him afterwards. Because our midfield in the future, it has to be 2 new players, right?
Yeah.
It has to be a Neves and someone else, or an Ndidi and someone else, or Declan Rice and someone else. So, yeah.
So are we accepting that Paul Pogba is going to be on the left predominantly this season? Yeah, that's what's happening.
The
Because it doesn't
only
seem
way
like we can play in the
Pogba goes in the middle is if you get an anchor man, and I don't think we're going to get an anchor man. So yeah, on the left.
I don't think he wants to play
Or
there.
if a Rashford comes in and kills it.
Well, Rashford only for me, and again, I'm not in Ollie's head, but Rashford only comes back into that position if Pogba's underperforming there. If Pogba's playing well, it is full, and the results are well, because of course, one player may be playing well, the results are working, but you need to change something, fair enough. But if the results are good and Pogba's playing well, it's foolish to go and bring Rashford in there. And honestly, unless you maintain the same results that you were having prior to Rashford being there, Ollie's head's on the chopping board. Because why would you change a winning side for 2-3 months in, but by the time Rashford's actually going to be fit?
I just said this will never a foul. This is a big test for Ollie. If Pogba's working and he moves him back into central midfield just to accommodate Marcus Rashford, it's not going to work. And it'll be a big mistake on his part.
Yeah.
In the distance, but October's coming sooner than we think. Trust me, September will be over. The running games we got in September, trust me, it'll fly by. Rashford will be back, and it's going to be what's Ollie going to do? And yeah, he can't falter. Listen, if Pogba's playing well, don't put him back in central midfield. I don't think he wants to play there either.
And I think Pogba signing a new contract is probably dependent on him playing further forward. So if you put Pogba back into midfield, January comes, he's on the phone to every club across Europe saying, I need to leave. I don't want out. So
We've got more important phone calls then. We've got
big options.
We've got more important phone calls to do in January.
What,
So,
like
the phone's going to be too busy.
Legit?
We're not letting
In
Pogba
general?
get near the phone.
Are you sure that's legit about us? Like we could potentially sign Haaland in January, or is it a pre-contract thing? Like how does it work? Does anyone know?
I saw a story that I found funny because of the headline. It said Haaland's release clause
Potentially
has moved forward. And in my mind, I'm like, how do you sign a contract in 2018, but the release clause moves forward? I don't.
The only way is if you sign an additional contracting, and it will have to be the release clause will have to be higher. So it may be like 90 million.
Yeah, it is 90.
January, 75 million in July, for example. I don't know.
That's literally what was said. Potentially, Haaland release clause could be brought forward to January, and they're estimating it to be 90 million.
They have to be in the Champions League if they're not a clause that triggered. Or they did what they did with Jadon Sancho, and he secretly has something in his contract. Remember when they said Jadon Sancho's contract runs out in this year? I was like, what are you talking about? The last 2 years, all the reports that his contract ended in 2022. Where's this 2023 came from? Right, so maybe it's one of those situations. I don't know.
No, I hear that. Naj, what do you think of those 3 midfield options? Neves, Niguez, and Camavinga. Which would you prefer out of the 3? Because you've watched Camavinga, haven't you?
Yeah.
Apologies for the body dog.
Well, I agree with Nick. It's the profile of the players we need. Like, they're not the same profile. We need that. We need the anchor man or the playmaker. We don't need a box to box anymore. I know Camavinga can play in that, anchor role, but he's more of a box to box and he's left footed. But then if he takes Fred's position, it's all good. But we really need that DMDM, that defensive midfielder. So yeah, I'd go with Rice and Gigi or Neves. But Saul, if we get him, cool. But it's not the guy we need. And same with Camavinga, and he's very young too, so he'll have a tough time with Ollie at the beginning. So yeah.
You know what I also like about the Neves or the potential of a Neves signing? He can and he should go straight into the team in the sense you don't have to think about acclimatizing to a league, new country, blah blah. It's just like
what he is.
I'm sure he's played the first 2 games of the league already. You probably play against us, put in a man of match performance, and you're like, all right, first game after international break, Neves goes straight in. Like, there's no reason not to play him. Whereas you bring in someone from abroad who might be a bit younger or a bit raw, whatever, and you're like, you have to you get a Sancho Varane situation where are they actually ready? Neves is ready.
So, firstly, with Saul, I think the Man United name's just being used here. Whatever. I don't think we're in for him at all. I'm sure we've looked into it. If we can get a cheap loan deal, what have you, but
no. Indiana, you got to tell me. Remember what Fab said? We've asked about him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You asked how he's doing. Are you all right, Saul? You good?
Yeah. It's just the United name being used on that one. I don't think we're signing a midfielder. And I can't see us going for Camavinga anyway. I just can't see it. We know that we've been linked to a right back. We know the top priority is a top striker. We know that that's going to happen. Cavani will leave. Martial will leave. In my opinion, he's out the door.
Bring it to Martial.
Well, no, I think he is, Danny. I honestly I can't see how this isn't a massive season for Martial.
Same.
I can't. Like it's got to be a big season for him. Otherwise, he's got to leave. But
I'd say in January if he's not turned up by January, make some moves.
100%.
Yeah.
Dortmund, you're out of the Champions League. Fingers crossed. Nowhere near Bayern.
Do you know the other thing, Danny? I'm sick. I'm just sick of having the Martial argument for the last 4 years or whatever. Like people telling me he's this elite striker. He's never going to be that. But in terms of what you said about Varane needs, I don't understand. I personally, I don't get why he'd need to adjust in any way
to the league,
to the team. Really, I don't really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Varane's thing for me, the reason why
Sancho, Sancho, I get, but
I'll say that I don't think Varane's even. Well, he hasn't even played. I think he had a couple training sessions with Real Madrid. He's had no preseason games for Real Madrid or for us. He didn't even play in that Burnley game that we played after the Leeds game. So I think for him, it's probably more of a match fitness thing more than anything. So yeah, I was probably wrong to include him in that aspect. Because for me, you buy a world-class player. Yeah. Once he's ready to go, you put him in and you kind of say sink or swim because that's why we bought you. When it's a younger player, you have to give them time, etc. Spare their feelings. Varane, if you make a mistake in your first game, I'm putting you right back in the second game, and you better not make it again. Like you didn't win Champions League and the World Cup for no reason, isn't it? So yeah, I would agree with you.
The other thing as well is with Varane, what I'm hoping to see from him, well, not just from him, from Maguire really, is Maguire being able to step forward a little bit more into midfield. And when I watched that game against Southampton, I would have liked to have seen Varane at least come on and Maguire having a little bit more license to come forwards with the ball and drive into midfield. Because my understanding of it is that that's the reason why one of the reasons why we're buying Varane, because that's one of Maguire's best attributes, is driving forward with the ball. That then would have allowed us, in my opinion, to get. And I know Danny and you were saying we're not going to see much of Donny van de Beek, but we could have had him in the midfield then a little bit more if we were carrying the ball forwards more. I know we have good spells, but there was so much about that game that just wound me up. I just got frustrated with so much of it because there were options. There were so many options.
Yeah.
Not
I had Van der Beek in my starting 11 because we just needed someone in the midfield who was comfortable on the ball. It was never going to be a game like Leeds where it's just back and forth. Energy was necessarily needed. You needed someone who could deal with Southampton's press and just be comfortable to control the midfield. And you know, you hope that Matic could control it, but he's controlling it from much deeper. So you're asking a lot of Fred to be the one to progress it from midfield, and he's never going to be able to do that. So yeah, it was. Yeah. I do think that Van der Beek will play. I'm not as pessimistic as Danny. I'm optimistic that bloody hell, it's 2 years. Like you can't have a guy for 2 years sitting on the bench. It don't make sense. Even Thiago.
Oh, it's a year. It's a year.
No, I'm saying by the end of this year, if he doesn't play this year, it'll be 2 years.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So he has
do you not think it's strange though, Meeks? Do you not think it's strange that he may not have even been considered to come on the pitch for that game? You know, like he was like, maybe it's a starting 11. I think he should have started as well. But do you not think it's strange that he wasn't brought on? Like, what would have been the reasoning? If you put yourself in Ollie's shoes, what could you think of the logical reason why he wouldn't bring Bunny on, who's actually quite good against the press, who pops the ball up quickly, which is what you need to help beat the press, and he would be able to link up defense to attack? And what would be the reason? Like, if we were trying to think about it from Ollie's point of view, like I can't think of anything.
Honestly, I can't think of any reason that Lingard is a better option, even in terms of being a goal threat. Like Van der Beek, if you say, all right, go up into the number, the false 9 support striker position, he's got the movement to potentially get a chance in the box. Like, there's literally no role on the pitch that Lingard affects the game better than Van der Beek in that moment. I don't. It's confusing. And
we just had Pogba was playing well on the left, right? Pogba was actually playing quite well in that little spell. Like, in the second half, he was playing quite well. And he was doing well there, so there was no reason to move him into the middle at all.
The only reason why you would not bring on Van der Beek and you would bring Lingard is if you don't think West Ham are going to bid for Lingard, and if you've got an imminent bid for Van der Beek, and you have to say you're going to sell him and you don't want to get injured. Like, literally, nothing else makes sense. And I hope it's not the case, because Lingard needs to go and Van der Beek needs to stay. I don't know.
No, I absolutely agree. In the was put up saying Stephen Houghton spoke to Matt Phelan about the middle situation. They said they were looking for someone who is versatile rather than DM. Me and Nudge had this conversation earlier, actually, about maybe Ollie's looking to go for a sort of 3-8 system or like 2-8s rather than having a generic sort of sitting midfielder on box to box on 110. I don't know if the profile player we're looking for really suits that, because you need very special players to be able to play 2 8s and a 10, in my opinion. You need players that are proper, like old school box to box that can do everything, and both of them have to do everything and sort of alternate between the two. So when you're looking at, say, Saul, Niguez and say Camavinga, or someone of that ilk, I don't think there's anyone who stands out who can play that sort of system. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's what Ollie's looking for, sort of a 2-8 sort of system kind of thing, or 2 box-to-box midfielders rather than just one sitting? Do you guys know what we're going for?
No. All the profile of players are kind of box to box. They look like he's looking for guys who are adept in both areas or in both areas of the pitch. That's why I think even that 4-3-3 talk, I heard a lot of it. Did Ollie never actually said, I don't think the words ever came out of his mouth that we're going to play 4-3-3 this year. I know he said with Varane we can find a new way of playing, but I don't think he ever mentioned 4-3-3. I know there was reports that said we're looking to play 4-3-3, but Ollie's never said it, and I don't. Based on what we're looking for, the profile, it doesn't look like we're looking for the ability to play a 4-3-3. So I don't know.
Oh, it's a weird one. My internet's going funny. Indiana, can you take over while I leave and come back, please?
Yep.
Cheers.
No worries. So Van der Beek's agent saying everyone within the club knows that Donny cannot have another season like last year. And that, Nix, you touched on that. It's true. We can't have another season of Donny van der Beek. sat on the bench. We just can't. He's either got to go, or we need to see him play and find a way to fit him into the side.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm honest, next game we see McFred because of how poor the performance was. I think Ollie will go straight back to that. He goes into. He's like a car, Ollie. If something goes wrong with the engine, it goes into limp mode. That's it. Safety's on. McFred, that's my safety. And I think that's what we'll see. What about going forward? So into the next game, do we all feel that even if Cavani's fit, Greenwood should start up front due to goals over the last 2 games, especially his performance against Leeds? Would it knock him in any way not to start him, or is it too much to play him in that game if Cavani is fit?
I'd start Greenwood and bring Cavani on second half, because you have to bed him in. Greenwood's doing good. They had a great game. I thought he was superb against Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
And Cavani, we need to not bring him straight back into the first 11. Like, let Greenwood have a game, see how it goes, then put him on the right or take him off and put Cavani second half if we need a goal or something.
Yeah.
No.
I think Sancho's had 2 substitute appearances already, so I would start him against Wolves first and foremost, which means Greenwood won't be on the right, and I would put him back on through the middle. We saw how good he was against Leeds. He got his goal against Southampton as well. So you put him through the middle, and I think Cavani's not gonna play unless he knows he's 100% ready anyway. That's the first thing. He's not going to go out and like, the manager said I'm ready, so I can play, let me go. He's going to make sure that he's in tip-top condition because he doesn't want to be injured or anything. So I think if we don't see Cavani, it's probably because Cavani says he's not ready. Because Ollie would want to get him in and around the squad ASAP. So if we don't see him, it's probably Cavani saying it. And I think Ollie is going to have to, and he's probably accepted that. We made a lot of concessions to actually keep Cavani this year, and we're not going to do anything to kind of ruin that in his final year at Man United. So I would have Cavani hopefully on the bench if he's fit. Was he on the bench against Southampton? No, he wasn't. He couldn't have been because probably would have brought him on. But maybe we have him on the bench against Wolves, and then maybe hopefully we'll get a couple games over the international break if the South American players are allowed. We know there's a lot of talk about that at the moment with the quarantine rules, etc. And then hopefully he comes back. And a few players come back after the international break having got, maybe 2 games or, 45 minutes here, 45 minutes there, and fit and ready to go after international break. But I think Greenwood deserves to start. To drop Greenwood, moving him to the right already was a bit of a slap in the face after the Leeds game. I think to drop him would be very harsh.
See, the way I see this, for me, like I think Greenwood needs to be rewarded for goals and performances. That's how I feel about it, even if Cavani is fully fit. What you just said, though, Neeks, the reason why, and we know this as United fans, the reason why Ollie won't see him being put on the right is because that's exactly what happened to Solskjaer. It's the same thing under Fergie. He was through the middle, he was on the right, sometimes he's on the left. Like, he played all across the front line. And he, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had that attitude, team first. And so I don't know whether Greenwood will see it the same as Ollie, or whether Ollie won't see it as a problem if Greenwood has a problem with it, if that makes sense. So I don't see it.
I don't mind him playing on the right going forward, but I think this next game he scored 2 and 2.
Yeah,
I think he just deserves to play through the middle again. And then after the international break, you deal with who's available, who's not, who's quarantining, who's not, and take it from there. But as far as Wolves go, I think he has to go through the middle from the start.
Yeah, Rachel, you still alive?
I don't know what's happening. I'm very confused.
We're doing grounded football on United. We're just talking about Mason Greenwood.
I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. Everyone's so quiet for me now as well.
We're whispering.
Oh, sorry. So you asked me about Mason Greenwood?
Yeah, so I'm saying next game, should Mason Greenwood be rewarded for his performances and his goals by starting up front, even if Edison Cavani is fit to come back in?
Yeah, I don't see why not, to be honest with you. Cavani hasn't played much football, right? Because he's been away. So
Mhm.
I would say put Cavani on the bench, let Greenwood play, and if we need a different profile of striker because we're struggling for whatever reason, then we can bring him on. Cavani's always great off the bench anyway, so I think that's fine. I think Greenwood's played. He's been sort of the bright spark. Even against Southampton, I thought he played. He was decent. Like he wasn't useless like some of the other players on the pitch. He was actually trying. He's trying to get himself around the pitch, trying to do something.
Yeah.
So, and obviously his performance against Leeds was fantastic. I thought it was harsh that he even got pushed towards the right on Sunday anyway, to be honest with you. I thought he deserved to start up front, and then maybe either have Martial or Sancho on the right to start with. And I thought they were going to be more fluid as well. I didn't see them interchanging as much as they usually do. And I feel like Greenwood, yeah, I think Greenwood deserves to play up front this week against Wolves, isn't it? So yeah, I think we should try him out there and then just see how it goes. And if he doesn't perform well, he can go to the right and bring Cavani on, or he can come off and Cavani can come on. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Last question on this. Do we expect Dan James to play this game though?
No. I don't understand why he would. Because Wolves aren't gonna. We're not gonna. We shouldn't be playing on the counter attack against Wolves. I don't know. I know they played well against Spurs. I didn't watch the game live. I can't remember who they played their first game.
They played against Tottenham. They played well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the last game, but I can't remember who their first game was.
Leicester.
They lost that game 1-0. I think they played well in that game as well. I know under Nunez, under Nuno, Espirito Santo, he was very much a counter-attacking. So yeah, you would have to still. We drew the series 1-1. We did not lose. We drew the series 1-1. So relax yourself, Ryan. But the man was in my DMs. I'm like, you can't win the series from here. You lost the first game on it anyway. Big up yourself. Yeah, so it really depends. I can't. No, it doesn't depend on Wolves. We should be taking the game to Wolves, which means we should be pushing them back, which means Dan James won't have the space to operate in, which means that he shouldn't be starting. We spent 70 odd million on Sancho for a reason, and whether we're playing on the counter attack or we're on the front foot, Sancho is good enough to play both roles. So no, Dan James impact at best. Listen, I would have brought Dan James off the bench before I brought on Lingard. I tell you that.
Yeah.
I tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand
Sancho needs to start. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I've had enough. Sancho needs to start because, like, I thought he was going to start against Southampton. I mean, he came off the bench in the first game, didn't really get into the game. Same thing happened against Southampton. Had some little bright moments, but nothing special happened. But he's fit, he's ready, and this is what we bought him for, to play on the right. So I don't see why he doesn't start this game, if I'm honest with you. He has to play. No Dan James, no pushing Greenwood onto the right. Just play Jadon Sancho. He's our £75 million signing. He's here to play. He needs to play. I'm tired. I don't want to see him coming off the bench again.
Yep. Agreed.
But yeah, I'm just tired. I can't hear properly. I'm so tilted. 1 second.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
You just turn everyone up. I can.
You good now? You hear everyone?
No, there are no settings for this. What is
We can
this?
hear you. No, the settings are on your laptop. You have to press the volume button.
No, I'm not on my laptop. I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone at the moment.
We can hear you though, but that's weird.
Okay, and because it's the last grounded before, is it the last one before the transfer window closes?
Yes, it closes on Well, what's the date today? 20. Well, it closes. It closes on Tuesday. It closes on the 31st, so next Tuesday.
Okay. Do we think we're going to make any more signings?
I'll let my go first. Go on.
I hope so. Yeah, I really think we're going to get Niguez. I think it's the one that makes more sense. It's not the one I want the most, but I think it's a pretty easy one to do. Well, yeah, nothing's easy with United. So, but yeah, I think we'll get Niguez. We need to sell as well. Like those little loans it's cool, but we need to sell players.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, Niguez.
I think we are going to sign someone. I think, listen, we've had a decent transfer window. And I say decent because Sancho, I mean, Varane's a great signing because of his caliber. But we should have got Sancho last year.
Yeah.
Let's not what's the word? Sugarcoat it. Sancho was supposed to be here last year. We tried to get him last year. So if that was the case, and we got him last year, would Varane this year as our only signing be good? It wouldn't be. So we have to be realistic. I think we're going to get another signing. I would be stumped if we didn't buy one more player. And on top of that, obviously Pereira's gone. We have to sell. Lingard has to go. He has to go. Yeah. I don't understand how he's still here.
Ask Phil Jones.
I read today saying Phil Jones must be going on loan or something. I don't know if it was a troll account or something, but I read Phil Jones on loan. I was like, whoa, who is taking him on loan?
Nix, we are not that lucky.
Crystal Palace or Arsenal.
Championship loan.
That's Arsenal.
Championship, man.
Jeez.
Mate.
Man. So, does anyone think West Ham are still going to get Lingard? Does anyone think that's going to happen?
Oh, who knows at this point? Honestly, who knows?
Did they just buy a 35 million player?
35?
Yeah, 35 million player. I read that.
Listen, give me 20 right now, man.
Just give me 5, man. You got to take him on a free, get his wages off. Serious? No, I'm serious. It's gone too far now. Just get rid of him. Get him off the wages. Go and sign the player you need. I don't get this. We spend way too much on players we do not need. It's ridiculous. A lot of these players on the bench, I think Phil Jones is on more money than Trent. Is that right?
Oh, don't say things like that.
He must be over 100 grand.
No, I'm not over 100. Surely, can't be.
No, I think it's on like 85.
He's a Premier League winner. Respect the Phil.
Nix, I will kick you.
Is he not a Premier League winner?
I don't care. That was like 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, it was like, no, it wasn't. No, still, it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago, man. 8 years ago.
Yeah, he's on 80k, 75.
That's mad. That's just mad. And Lingard's wages as well. You put in all the. Brandon Williams is on 65 grand a week.
That's shocking.
I think that's bonus. I remember
bonuses.
I remember when that was reported, but I think it's with bonuses. But it's a lot. Whatever he's on, it's a lot because he's not playing, is it?
He's on loan now, isn't he?
For Norwich, yeah. But we're paying
Wait, what do you guys think of James Garner? Everyone keeps talking about him. I haven't seen much of him. I'm going to be watching him this season, while he's on loan and whatnot. But do we think he could be our next central midfield option? I'm not going to say our next Carrick or Scholes. That's ridiculous. But say. Yeah. I don't know, like, do you guys rate him highly? Because a lot of people do, but you know what people are like with academy players, right? They're just OTT. Like
Brandon Williams was really rated, but it's not all that, is it? No, so it's a weird one.
I don't want the Angel Gomez stuff all over again, man. That was hard work for me.
What do you mean? Did you not hear? He's playing for Barcelona and he's like killing it right now. Did you not hear?
Listen. For me with Man United, because of all the reports you hear and, you know, our academy players, and it's the whole class of 92 thing that Everyone thinks we're going to get the next David Beckham or something. I don't judge any of our young talent until I see them playing consistently for Manchester United first team. I don't care if they get a couple of runs in the first team, consistent runs. So I'm pretty much not even judging Greenwood. I'm at that stage with it. I'm sick of hearing about this next young talent is going to be outstanding. It's exciting to watch them, and when you watch like the under 23s or under 21s, whatever have you, great to watch. It's brilliant, but that's not Manchester United first team. You just got to wait it out, be patient, because it's Man United, and then things get hyped up way too much. But we should move on, and we should just talk about Gary Neville's comments today. Rachel, you wanted to speak on this, I know.
Did any of you watch the Monday Night Football yesterday?
Sorry. I just got some breaking news. So
go on.
The potential for Phil Jones to leave Man United this summer was there, but the player has reportedly.
No, he's not injured.
Listen.
I can't.
He says, but the player has been unable to prove his fitness to prospective players.
Wow. Are you serious?
No.
Nah, you're joking.
If you don't laugh, you cry.
This guy has been a Man United player. It's gonna be. When's his testimonial? I think he deserves a testimonial.
He won't be fit enough for it, Neeks.
The last.
He won't be. He'll be injured.
No. The
He's
whole
finessing
thing
the
is
club,
a joke.
He's a finesser. He's finessing the club, man.
Guys,
Faking
if you
injury.
don't laugh, you cry. Okay, it's okay.
Okay,
We'll get through this. It's all good.
Wow.
Sorry.
85 grand a week, man.
Ryan, you must be joking, right? I know you don't like Joe Gomez, but come on.
You don't like it. He doesn't like salary. He doesn't like it.
No, he doesn't.
No, I hear that, yeah, but he wouldn't say Rashford's better than Salah or anything. Like that's going too far. Phil Jones is not better than Joe Gomez. Come on now. That's madness.
Rachel, back to the GNev comments, please.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Oh, wait, did any of you watch Monday Night Football?
What did he say? I didn't see.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in a space listening yesterday, and everyone was talking about how Gary Neville's a fraud because of what he said. Now, I don't know how you guys feel, but do you think that Ollie is too protected in the media by his friends? Because everyone's going on about it. They're calling him a disgrace, so they're saying that, but he made a comment about how you can still progress and come third. But he was talking about in terms of points, and people obviously took that out of context and said that, he's making excuses. So I understood some of what he said. I didn't understand the whole we need to get a Harry Kane over other positions thing. I didn't understand that part. But what did you make of his comments? Did you agree with what he said?
It was a tough one because like I understood what he was saying in terms of he was saying get rid of Martial and get in Harry Kane, especially if other clubs are making big moves, and I get that. I think he mentioned Haaland as well, but we know what the priority is, and it does shock me that he hasn't, and a lot of the media haven't really said anything about midfield. They don't really say anything. They just like get a striker. The only one who didn't say basically get a striker was Graham Souness, but he didn't actually say what we should get. He said, which I disagree with anyway, but he said we didn't need Jadon Sancho. The firepower is there. There's other positions to strengthen. No, he didn't say other positions, but I don't agree because we needed a right winger anyway. But the notion of getting a striker has been there for a couple of years, and again, I don't disagree with it, but I think for this season alone, that can't be the priority. He has to accept that we've re-signed Cavani for the year, and we've got Mason Greenwood. And who's going to buy Anthony Martial right now? Nobody right now. So I think we have to be realistic. In terms of the Ollie thing, Gary Neville, if I'm correct, didn't go in on Jose either. And I think since
That's right. Yeah.
since he was sacked as obviously as Valencia coach, he kind of, I guess, respects the position of a manager more. So he doesn't just like call for the head like other people will, but people will see it in this way because they want Ollie out, and Gary Neville's a Man United legend. So the reason for him not going after Ollie is only because Ollie's a Man United manager and obviously ex-Man United player, Man United legend. When in reality,
Teammate.
I think even if it was another manager, Neville wouldn't be going in on him because he doesn't do that. He didn't do it for Jose, and that was a prime time for anyone to do it, and nobody could tell you that you were wrong. So does Ollie get protected in the media? Probably because he's an ex-player and a lot of them would have played with or against him and they probably know him personally. But I don't think there's, when you're realistic about Man United, people see it as you lowering your standards. So when he says Man United can have a better season this year than last year and still come third, I think that's factual. Man United can get 86 points, which is 12 more than last year, yet Chelsea and Man City finish above. That's factually correct. But people are not going to see it as a better season because, well, we went down one position or we didn't win a trophy, we didn't win a league. So I don't think he's just saying it because Ollie's there. So I don't know. It's a hard one.
There's
Gary
that,
Neville,
and
Jamie Carragher's both out.
Sorry.
Yeah. Jamie Carragher. You know, Jamie Carragher said the managers make the difference basically, and he was basically saying not really going to Solskjaer isn't at a Klopp level, which is true. And also with Gary Neville, I mean, if he digs Ollie out, how many players are Salford City going to be able to sign on loan? So you got to be careful about that one as well. Like Salford need those Man United players. That's what it is. But no,
if I remember correctly as well.
He doesn't.
Gary Neville sacked a lot of managers in the last few years.
Yeah.
So he doesn't respect the managerial position that much. Surely can't have been that bad. I'm pretty sure one of them got promoted.
No, then he's got a decision to make for his own club, hasn't he?
But that's the thing. It's different to sacking a manager and calling for another manager, sacking a manager for your own club and business, and calling for another club or man to be sacked for footballing reasons as opposed to like off the field. I think it's two different things because you have to take care of your personal business. I don't see it as one thing or another. Now, if he starts calling out clubs for sacking managers regularly, then that's hypocritical because you're doing the same thing. But I don't think he's hypocritical for not calling for Solskjaer to be sacked. Like that don't make no sense.
Also,
that's fair. Actually.
Like Gary Neville's probably got a much better idea of what's going on at the club than us, right? Well, he has got a better idea of it. That has to. So when you look at like things that are happening when it comes to like the academy, the structure of the club and things like that, maybe Gary Neville's not going to be against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being at the wheel, if you like, at the moment. He's not gonna see a huge issue because of where the club was when Ole came in.
But I think anybody with just an ounce of, I'm not going to say sense because I'm not going to be disrespectful, but
just say anybody with a brain cell. It's okay.
No, but I'm not going to say that, Rachel. But it's more with a level, any ounce of objectivity can see that Man United in a better position now than before he came in. Whether you think he's good enough or not, you cannot say we're in the same or worse position. Now, I think the only difference is how much value you put on that. So I might put a lot of value on that. So I'm like, well, Solskjaer has done well for doing X, Y, Z, therefore he deserves to stay. Whereas another will say, well, the most important thing is the coaching and the results. So thank you for that. But your main job is to win trophies, and you haven't done that. Therefore, you go. But nobody can deny. And maybe Gary Neville's on the side of he's doing so much good behind closed doors, not just behind closed doors, but in general off the field, that it's not worth sacking him now. In that regard, where people will be like, well, he's not getting results, and if you don't see that, and I see people here, if you don't see that, it's only because you're biased. I'm like, but I don't think anybody Ollie in. But that's not true. And there's many people who are Ollie in who are not saying the results are perfect or the football's perfect or the coaching's perfect. But it's just that we're saying that, well, you know what? I don't think the football and the results outweigh, or the negative football or the results outweigh the work that's been done to get Man United to a better position.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a good
spot
point.
on. I put a lot of value on what Ollie did. Like, I knew where we were going. Like, man, I was like, yo, my club, man. What he did, like, we really needed Ollie to come in. Like, not Ollie but someone like him, like, to get rid of those players and put a bit of order back in, and that give us that Man United feeling and back. Like, I put a lot of value into that. So, but yeah, your view on people not really putting value on that is probably very true. That's probably where the Ollie in and Ollie out thing comes from. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. Man.
But
I never watched it like that. I never saw it like that. But yeah, great point.
But what about in terms of the squad? So okay, the club's being restructured. Have the club done enough for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer over the last, since he's been in charge, to actually change this squad enough to allow us to compete for a title? Have they backed Ollie enough? I'm not talking backed him financially. I'm talking backed him by buying the players that he needs or Manchester United need.
I think at this point, over the 3 years, he's got the required backing. I would say that some of the backing should have happened earlier. So Sancho, for example, should have been bought last year.
Yeah.
So this year we're not focusing on getting Sancho, but rather getting a midfielder. But I think up to this point, he's had, I would say, required backing to mount a title challenge. I think that the only issue comes from us actually selling players, which is probably stagnating some of the purchases, which then you might argue is that who do I put the blame on for not being able to sell players? I think it's the previous administration. When I say administration, obviously Woodward was there and the Glazers are there, but in terms of how things were giving contracts, big contracts to poor players, now we can't shift them. But that necessarily hasn't happened under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I think in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time, the 2.5 years that he's been permanent manager, I think we've been running a way that you can say the manager has got the backing to make the decisions to put Man United in a better position. It's just that I think it should have happened much sooner. We should have, Maguire should have been bought at the beginning of the transfer window rather than the end. Sancho should have been bought last year. And we shouldn't be dragging out signings like Cavani out to the end of the transfer window when we could have got them months before. But if we look at the position we're in right now, we've got the players that we need to mount a challenge for trophies. So in that sense, 2.5 years in, at this point, you can say, yeah, Ollie's been backed. And that's why this is the year that I'm going to judge Solskjaer, because this is the first time I can say you've actually got a squad that you can actually win something with.
No, Nick, so
I
I'm
agree
with you. I've always said this is the year, and that's why I was so annoyed at the Southampton performance, if I'm honest, because it was a lot of what we've seen before, and I don't feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can progress if he's still making the same mistakes. It's just it's not going to happen. We can't see that again. I think that has to be the last time that he tries to have Matic and Fred in the middle. For me, that I don't ever want to see that again. That can't happen again.
We said this, Indiana. We said this after the Leicester game. We said this after the Crystal Palace game. Like, how many times is he going to try that partnership with his other options? If we had literally no other options, I'd understand it. But we had other options, other combinations we could have used, and he chose not to. But I agree with Neeks to an extent. I don't believe our squad's good enough to win a title. I don't. I genuinely don't.
I think it's good enough to challenge. Yeah,
to challenge, fine. I just don't think it's good enough to make it to the finish line. That's how I view it. I don't rate some of our players that other people rate very, very highly. And everyone that knows me knows that the way I feel about our midfield, I resent it. It's gotten to that point. I resent it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of how the midfield works. I'm tired of how it's not even a functional midfield. You know, it doesn't have to be 3 world-class players or 2 world-class players. I just want something that works. And for me, whenever I watch it, it doesn't seem to work. There are occasional games where it works fairly well, but in terms of consistency throughout the whole season, it doesn't. And then you add, the right back issue. And then, one issue we don't speak about enough is the goalkeeper issue. Because neither David De Gea or Dean Henderson fill me with confidence when they're in goal. They don't. So, and then there's obviously the striker issue. Greenwood's very young. He's going to have bad games. Hopefully we don't know, we don't all jump on his back and whatnot. Cavani's not always going to be fit. Martial will have to play, and Martial is Martial. We don't know which Martial is going to turn up. So there are issues still in this team. I agree that we should win something. I agree with all that.
Rachel, what I would say is that I think a lot of teams could say similar things in the sense of if you look at Chelsea, I think Chelsea's first 11 is complete, but a lot of fans are like, why is Chelsea still there? Is Pulisic even fit? Ruben Loftus-Cheek, is he even good enough? Can he make it? Alonso, people hate Alonso one week and love him the next week. So I think obviously you might not think, granted, our first 11 is as good as those, and I think that's a fair enough comparison, but I think every squad, even including Man City to an extent, below the first 11, people are going to say, yeah, he's not good enough. Liverpool, you're like, Origi. Obviously, Shaqiri's gone now, but you're like, yeah, Origi, you have to go. James Milner is a backup. I know, man. Sound like man's.
No.
As the door.
Yeah, of course, mate.
Sure it was.
The door has wins.
I'm just glad Valve's dizzy and the vibes aren't in the chat. That's what I'm saying.
Oh gosh, that would be it.
Liverpool's got Milner covering like 3 positions. I think every their centre backs issues are injuries for Liverpool.
Maybe we are in for Saul then, Nix. Maybe we are in for Saul. We're going for a Spanish James Milner. Someone to cover all those positions. That's what it is.
The door.
Big up, Lincoln.
Can you also comment just above from West? He says Oli gave Matic and Jones new contract. I think for me, he gave Matic and Mata new contracts, and you have to question why he's given those. The Jones one you can't put on Oli because that got signed in January. Oli came as an interim in December. If Ed Woodward gave power to the interim manager to sign Phil Jones on a 4-year or 5-year contract, for me that's Woodward's fault. That's Woodward's fault. So
the negotiations started before Oli got there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it had to.
So,
it had to because that was a month later. So, but definitely the Matic and Mata, both of them are you're like,
Matters.
And Eric Bailly as well. I'm sorry. Why is he still getting contract extensions? I don't understand that either.
Yeah, I agree. What is Paris Rolling putting them in midfield together? I mean, that's a good question. But a question that everyone's asking.
Yeah.
If we don't get a midfielder, is it for the want of trying, in the sense that do we believe that Solskjaer, Carrick specifically, and Phelan are happy with our midfielders, or is it just a case of the Glazers are saying, listen, until we sell, you can't get anyone, or this is how much we have and we're not going to spend a penny more? I don't know, because if every single fan on this earth, other than Gary Neville, clearly can see that we need a midfielder, I refuse to believe. I don't know more about football than Michael Carrick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Facts.
So if I can say, see, we need a midfielder, there's no way they can't see that we need a midfielder. I think so I can't say, how can Michael Carrick not know we need that kind of midfielder? I'm like, he has to know. Why are we getting him? That's because I don't know that much about football. Sorry, I'm not
the fact
that it's not
the fact that Michael Carrick is doing extra training sessions with Fred 1-to-1 tells you that they know they need a midfielder. It's crazy. I keep saying it. I cannot believe Michael Carrick is watching this on the pitch and is happy with the personnel or what's happening on the pitch. He won't be happy about it. But again, can we be angry at the club if it's true what they're putting out, that we won't be signing anybody unless it is the right player?
No, you can't be. But if as a manager you are comfortable with that decision, so we're not going to sign anyone as the perfect player, then you have to make what you have work.
Mhm.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say I'm only going to get the right player and then complain that the players that you got aren't good enough.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
But it's dangerous, Neeks, because that's how we ended up with Fred.
I know. And listen, I'm not saying to go and buy the wrong player, but I'm just saying make this one work. Because we're talking about, and it's an important position, but it's literally, for me anyway, obviously Rachel and Danny have concerns about the right back. I'm not saying Wan-Bissaka's Trent, but we're not going to lose the Premier League title because of Wan-Bissaka. I'm not buying that one at all. For
Lies.
me, I know you disagree. But I don't agree. I don't agree. But it's one position. It's literally the midfield position, which is important, don't get me wrong. But that's one position that we need. And if you're saying that we can't challenge for the title, and I'm not saying you're saying it, but if we're saying if Solskjaer says, I can't challenge for the title because we ain't got a midfielder, then no, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. He has a challenge for the title this year. And if we get a midfielder, he needs to challenge for the title and win a trophy. Or else.
I think he should win a trophy. Regardless, I think we're more than capable of winning an FA Cup, a League Cup, and if we get knocked out of the group stages, then we can win the Europa League. Not that I want us to get there, by the way, but you know what I mean. Like we are more than capable of winning those. Like League Cup will probably be more difficult. That seems to be Man City's trophy, but we could win something and have a solid run in the league. I don't expect us to win the Premier League. We may luck out in the Champions League. Like anyone can win it. We saw Chelsea win it twice now, where they weren't the best team in the Champions League. And let's be honest, a lot of those bigger teams, they kind of suit us in terms of how Ollie wants to play, how our players thrive.
No, but I'm sorry, our midfielder get murdered in the Champions League.
I want Man City in the next round of cup. I want them early in the Carabao Cup. Get them out of the way, not no semi-final when they're playing their best team. No, I want them now.
Danny, we're taking the League Cup from Man City.
Danny, where did you go?
That's where we've got to.
Well, that's just the position that we're in. Like, I don't think we're going to win the Premier League or the Champions League, but you never know. Like, this is the thing. Football's a funny old game, isn't it? You never know these days. Indiana's deflated more so than me.
Fed up, man.
Indiana getting his bands out. Him and Johnny are gonna start a new channel, the Ollie Out channel.
Don't. I'm not Ollie out. I'm willing to give him this season, but after this season, if I don't see improvements, then we are at the stage where we do need a better manager to come in.
100%. I already said, if we get knocked out the Champions League group stages again, unless we are top of the league at that point, on that day, he has to go at that point. Like, because you're just literally repeating yourself. You just rinse and repeat. The squad's better, yet the results aren't getting better. Exactly. So if we get knocked out of Champions League, terrible, like Inter Milan did last year. But they were top of Serie A. So you're not going to sack Conte when you're leading the title, are you?
That's right.
Because everyone knows that Conte is not a Europe manager. He's all about winning the league. He doesn't win European titles.
Yeah.
Is the draw's tomorrow? No, Champions League draw.
It's Thursday. Is today
Thursday.
Wednesday or is it Tuesday? What day is it?
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to that actually.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to the Champions League. I'm looking forward to Man United in the Champions League this season.
Yeah. With Varane and Sancho, we've got a good team for the Champions League, I think. Not saying we're going to win it, but we can do bits.
I agree with what he says. Ollie has to deliver the simple. I just want to ask the chat, because I agree with that. What does deliver mean to everyone in the chat? Because I think everyone's definition of what Ollie has to do this year is different. And I think if he might meet one person's expectations and not another. Because Rachel might say he has to win a trophy.
Mm.
Does that mean if he finishes fourth and win a trophy, is that good enough? I'm saying no. And okay, fourth on, let's say, 75 points. I'm saying no. I don't care if you win the FA Cup. You have to go. But I would keep him on 88 points and no trophy. But I wouldn't keep him on 75 points and an FA Cup. I wouldn't do that. So I just want to know what everyone's kind of, what does deliver this season mean to everyone?
I would say 80 plus points and a trophy.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
I think if we get like, we finish on 74 points. I think how many points did Mourinho finish on when we came second?
81.
80. Yeah.
81.
Okay, so yeah, I think we match or beat that, and we win something. These players need to win. Like I believe these players need to win something personally. So,
I agree, and I just can't deal with the never going to win anything.
Yeah.
But then if you win an FA Cup, the thing is, if Man United win an FA Cup, then it will be what Arsenal did that and finished 8th. So you can't win with that. Neeks is right. Points in the league has to be over 80.
Yeah,
has to be.
I agree.
Yeah, because I wanted 10 extra points from the season before, so that would have been 76. He got 74, whatever. I want 85. 85 points. I said it from the start of the season. If he doesn't get 85 points, for me, the only thing that covers that up is a Champions League win. Like he has to get 85 points, because anything less than 85 points won't win you the league. But it's close to getting you to win the league. Anything less than that, you're like 2 seasons behind win the league, and that's too far. So,
I mean, 85 points is kind of like, before the ridiculous points total that Liverpool and City got, 85 points was about right to win the league, really.
Yeah.
Like 85 to 88. So I think that sort of points total, getting 80 plus, it means that we'd be at least close. We might finish third. It might be like Liverpool and City, like 1 point between them. Maybe Chelsea 2-3 points behind. And if we come fourth and we come with 80 points somehow, then it's a close title race between 4 teams, which I don't know if that's ever happened. Like Danny will let us know, he knows all this stuff, but I don't think that's ever happened before. I think there was a 3-way tie a few years ago, but not 4.
We've had.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be amazing as well, just for the Arsenal agenda, would be to break their unbeaten run, win a Champions League, win an FA Cup, and finish in the top 4 when doing so. I'd just be happier with that. Forget the Champions League, actually. Just win the FA Cup, finish in the top 4, break their unbeaten run, have a good Champions League run.
I agree. I want quarterfinals of Champions League minimum as well.
Like, that's why.
Honestly, if we finish first and PSG finish second in their group, what can you do in it? Like, it's just going to be tough. But you still have to say, well, they finished second. Maybe we can beat them. I don't know. But I want quarterfinals of the Champions League minimum as well.
They've only got Messi anyway. I won't worry about it.
But we should get quarterfinal, because, like, when you actually think about it, the English clubs are the strongest teams.
Exactly.
In Europe at the moment, and then you've got PSG. Bayern Munich as well. If we get Bayern Munich or PSG and we go out in the quarterfinals, you can almost understand it because of the quality they have. But even then, we can still beat them on our day. We can still beat them on our day. Yeah. But as long as we don't get beaten 5-0 and get completely embarrassed by PSG and Bayern, I don't think it's a disgrace for us to go out to one of those teams. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But I think we can also beat them. I think Bayern are very beatable. So,
especially since they've got a new manager, everything's not going to be as you hope anyway. It's not going to be as perfect as it was. They still surely have to, I mean, if he goes there and just continues as they left off, imagine he wins the Champions League. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're capable of doing it, but I feel like with Nagelsmann, I like Nagelsmann, but what I would say is that he's shown a lot of naivety in Europe, especially against us and against Liverpool. He changed it for the second game against us, don't get me wrong, but he also made the same mistake against us that he did against Liverpool, where he played this incredibly high line and he had no respect for the team that he was playing against. Yeah. And that to me is a bit of a worrying sign. And I feel like he will do the same thing with Bayern at times, with a better team, but he will just be more arrogant about it because he's got a better team. And at that point, you're thinking, they're beatable because of that. Because them playing a high line against us is trouble. So you never know really.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll just read this comment and we need to wrap up. But Wendy Grant says, success for the Glazers is consistent top 4 finishes. So if that's what he has been asked to do by the owners, isn't that success? No. I'm sorry, no. It's not success. Manchester United Football Club. I don't care who owns it. I'm a fan of the club. It's not what I want to see. As a fan, they need to remember where this money comes from.
This is the thing. Yeah.
This is what I fear, is that what we want and what the Glazers want are 2 different things. I fear that massively.
No, we know.
No, I know.
We know.
But remember, the situation we're in now with Ollie, we haven't been here with any manager post Fergie. So I really want to. Actually, I don't want to find out. But if we finish the season in 4th, no trophy, 78 points, clear of 5th, but 78 points. What do they do next? Do they say, all right, go again, Ollie? Are they actually going to say just go again? Or do they even look at it and say, all right, 2 years Champions League, this team is good enough? What do the players say? Do the players kind of turn against Ollie because we're not able to get over the line, we're not able to win anything? Like, what happens at that point?
Ollie will. Neeks, I don't think Manchester United fans, especially at Old Trafford, are going to stick this for forever.
But that's my point. So even though the Glazers want top 4, they have to do something, surely.
No, I think the fans will get onto the players, will get onto Ollie, and he'll be sacked that way. Unfortunately, I think that's the only way it's going to happen if Ollie makes top 4s. I don't think the Glazers are going to really care about elevating the club in terms of what they can win on the pitch.
No, but in the end, that's my point. If he gets top 4 and the fans turn against him, they're going to keep him, right? Because he got top 4. And I'm saying, I'm asking, would they twist and get rid of him based on the fan opinion at that point, regardless of even if he gets top 4?
Yeah, I do. I do now. Yeah, I have to. Neeks, I have to believe that there has to be an out.
No, that's you hope that there's some expectation.
Indiana is just killing me, right? Because he's like he's over it all.
I am.
2 games in.
2 games
he's already fed up.
Yeah. I feel like my kids. When your kids are like, "Oh, can we go to the park tomorrow, Dad?" Yeah, we can go to the park tomorrow. Wake up in the morning, it's chucking it down with rain, and they still want to go, and you're like, "Nah, there's no chance." Like killing people's dreams. I just listen. I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do well. I really do. Of course I do. But I'm not one of those guys that's like sack the manager. At the same time, I do feel we're going in the right direction. And if Ollie can't deliver this season, I will need to see him gone as a fan. I will need, and that's just how. And I think that's okay.
I agree. Because I think we will continue as long as we get the right man in, which is then that's another thing you're putting in the hands of the Glazers. But as long as we get the right man in, we continue on that upward trajectory.
Neeks, if Ollie gets sacked,
that's it.
Neeks, if Ollie gets sacked at the end of the season, Poch wins nothing at PSG, and he goes to Man United. I'm not even watching anymore.
I listen. If Poch supposed to win out the league, I don't care. I don't have. I know you've got your Poch agenda. My only agenda is Man United, and that agenda is to win something.
Naj, what do you think of this? I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you as upset about everything as Indiana is? Are you fed up with life?
It depends on the next game. If in Wolves it's the same shit, then I'll be like Indiana. But Let's hope it's a blip, and let's see what they do against Wolves. On to Wolves now.
Yeah, we have to win.
Yeah, we have to win, and it's going to be tricky. Like, it's not going to be easy, but that's the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I hear that. RDS, you are an hour and a half late. This is worse than me.
Prodigal son. I'm the prodigal son. I'm sorry. So it's actually been crazy today. So sorry to everyone. But Manchester United. I'm just overhearing you guys like saying that. Do you think Ollie's going to get sacked at the end of the season, or do you think if he doesn't achieve anything, he's going to get sacked? Is that correct?
Yeah. So even if he gets top 4, would the Glazers get rid of him?
No, they won't. They won't. They won't. I just keep
Indiana's gone. He's had enough. He's sick of this.
No, to be honest, I think that's what we will finish fourth, because when you look at the state of all the other teams, I don't think Leicester City will have as we've seen, I don't think they'll have the consistency to mount a top 4 challenge. Arsenal are a joke, and Spurs will do a Spurs. So what's left? Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. I generally think the top 4 is going to be the same as it was last season, and I think that United are probably going to come 4th again, and we might potentially get a trophy. That's it, guys.
how much points off first? That's the most important thing.
Well, the end of the transfer window. The end of the transfer window, we'll see. I mean, maybe City might. I mean, people saying Ronaldo to City, man. If
that's not happening, man.
I know.
Don't panic. It's not happening. Neeks, please tell RDS about Phil Jones.
Phil Jones couldn't prove his fitness to other clubs, so he's remaining at Man United for the foreseeable future.
This guy, I don't. The audacity from this man to basically be like, you know what? I'm not going to give up my number 4 top because I don't play. I'll keep the number 4, and Varane can have the number 19.
Yeah.
Like, what is? I don't. No one. We shouldn't hate a player. I don't want to hate. You shouldn't hate anybody. But for goodness sake, man, like what? Like it's just like.
I've got this vision of Phil Jones sat in the treatment room, holding on to his number 4 shirt, going wild. Ollie asking him, "Varane's coming in. Can I have that shirt?" And Phil Jones is like crying. No, I'm staying here. You're not moving me. He's having a tantrum like a little kid. Staying there. And Ollie's okay then. Well, we're selling you this season.
How much would it be actually cost to legitimately terminate his contract? Because he's only got like a year and a half left, isn't he? So couldn't we just
didn't he sign a new contract a couple of years ago?
It was a new 4 or 5 year deal. So that was I think it was a 4-year deal, so it runs out in 2023. Yeah.
Oh my
is that right? 2023. Yeah, 2023. So it will cost about 5 million to cancel it.
I don't see what. So yeah, 5 million. So we're getting that from like the sell on from Lukaku because obviously Chelsea because we put a selling.
Yeah.
That we get 5 million from that. Use the 5 million from the selling clause to Lukaku to pay off Phil Jones and get him out of the club. That's what I would do.
4-year deal. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Herrera left on a free, and you want to give this man a 4-year deal?
Does Indiana sound different to you guys?
Yeah, you know.
I got work at 4 in the morning. I'm not losing sleep over this shit anymore.
You know what? You know what's mad? You know what's mad? We've got an option to extend it for an extra year. I dare us to take up the option. I dare us to take up the option.
Can you imagine them in the boardroom?
As a parting gift, Ed Woodward, I dare you to extend Jones's contract by another year.
That would be the ultimate troll move. As he leaves, he'd be like, "Screw everybody, screw you guys. I'm gonna trigger that. Bye, peace out."
You know, that's funny.
Oh.
Listen. So this is the report that came out when he signed it. By the way, guys, Phil Jones, I'm delighted to sign a new contract. Man United has been a big part of my life for 8 years. 8 years? What, in 2019 he was, oh God. Anyway. So he joined in 2011 or 2012, 2011. I love everything about this club. I'm excited about the challenges that lie ahead. Yeah, big challenges. As we prepare for a very busy season, I would like to thank Ollie and the coaching staff for their continued support in my development. I mean, it was only about a month, but anyway. Phil Jones knows what it takes to be a Man United player. He has won the Premier League, FA Cup, and Europa League, and is now one of the senior players within the team. He's coming up to his 27th birthday and entering his prime years as centre half. We are delighted Phil has committed his future to the club.
Oh, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
I need to do a stream, just me, 13 years of Phil Jones.
Mr. Jones. That's gonna be
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mr. Jones. Oh, God. That is a big tune. I mean, obviously it says Mrs. Jones, but that is a big tune.
Indy, I'll make your intro for you. I'm ready.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Clip that up and just put it on loop.
That
could be the intro for 13 years of Phil Jones. Yeah,
why can we? Honestly, it's like why are we struggling to really to actually get rid of our players?
Because they're all on 500,000 a week.
No, they're not. The thing is, not all of them are though. Not all of them are like I get
Phil Jones and Lingard on 75k at least.
But even Lingard, there are offers for Lingard. There are definitely teams that want Lingard, even with his wages. But United's like, oh, we want more money. Minimal money. So I don't. There are definitely clubs that want Lingard. Phil Jones, I get. Obviously, we put Pereira on loan and Versums on loan, etc. But the likes of Matic, Mata. I mean, I think Josie said he wanted him at Roma. So I don't believe that there aren't teams that are there for our players. I mean, how did Chelsea somehow get Tammy Abraham to go to Roma, for example?
Like, yeah, but to be fair, I found out. Obviously, what's his name? Batshuayi only just left Chelsea, right? He went to
on loan.
Turkish team.
On loan,
exactly. But they've been trying to offload him for a while now. Drinkwater's still at Chelsea. They've been trying to offload him. It's not like other teams haven't been struggling to offload their players. Obviously, with us, we see it more. But Chelsea have a few players that should not be there.
Rachel, is Drinkwater holding on to the number 8 shirt?
It's a very good point, Diana. Very, very good point.
I can't deal.
I can't deal. I love Jesse, but I can't deal with like that. That was for me the thing about Southampton game was like he better be doing this so that he's advertising Lingard to be in a shop window, because if you're telling me that you're keeping him so he can be a backup to Sancho on the right, and like no, that just can't happen. That can't happen. Not with Ahmad being there, not with Greenwood being there. Like no, come on, we can't be doing this with Lingard when he no.
Oh, this you're gonna have a breakdown.
The Southampton.
I don't have any patience for it. Like, we should be moving players out. I don't have any patience for this at all. Brandon Williams, 65 grand. Phil Jones, how many millions has he made out?
At least he's gone. Brandon Williams has gone on. He's gone on loan, hasn't he? He's gone back to. Was it Norwich?
Norwich.
Yeah.
So I've got no problem with like at least the youngish players going out on loan. So you never know what's going to happen to them.
He's not going to go out to Norwich and get a winning mentality from there, is he?
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Like,
maybe
he's not.
Gets...
I know he's gone out on loan to be sold.
Yeah, which is fine. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
I've got no problem with that.
I'm fine with. But
if Ahmad's not going to play them, I want Ahmad to go on loan to Premier League club. I think Crystal Palace, for example, interested. I'd be up for him going to Crystal Palace.
He's
For,
gonna have relegation. He's gonna have relegation on his CV. I tell you that they're going down, mate.
Trust me, they are bad.
But it would be. He would get game time.
Did they get a result tonight, Palace?
They lost 1-0 to Watford.
Oh wow!
In the cup. Man City have scored 108 goals in cup competitions since Crystal Palace last scored one.
Oh,
Holy moly!
Wow!
Was that in the league or was that in the cup?
Cup.
It's the cup.
Watford.
Yeah.
It's all mad. It's all.
And they played a strong team as well, like I see Zaha and all that. There.
Yeah.
Really?
They made 4 changes, right?
Whoa!
I think they brought Ayew in for Benteke.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I can't remember the other 3 were, but it was a first team. It was a first team.
No, that's mad.
Listen, for me, Vieira shouldn't have taken that job, but I said this.
oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
all he has to do is keep them up. I mean, I think that Norwich are going to go down again. I just think so that they're gone. I mean, if Arteta stays at Arsenal, that's always a possibility. You know, you just
There's one space left.
you really don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Palace still have more points than Arsenal right now. So you know,
Yeah, it's true. They got a point, didn't they, against Brentford?
so
Mate.
like they got a point against Brentford. Arsenal got bantered by Brentford. So you know, like saying Palace are going to go down.
We can't. But for this reason, RDS, we can't have Arsenal getting relegated. Like we've been miserable the whole time on this stream, pretty much. And Arsenal just cheer
You
us
have.
up.
I've been laughing.
We need them.
You know what?
At me, not with me. That's different.
The perfect season this year wouldn't even be Arsenal going down. It will be Arsenal surviving relegation on the last day, and I see them celebrating. That's actually more embarrassing than going down. Celebrate surviving.
Oh my gosh! Meanwhile, we're still unbeaten away from home.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing in 4 or 75 points.
And Arsenal letting out a statement, Edu. Mikel Arteta's done an outstanding job keeping Arsenal in the Premier League.
10-year contract, guys.
The fact that they believe that Conte is going to come to them, man. Like, I like if Conte rejected Spurs for lack of ambition, I don't get why he would. I mean, maybe he might. I don't know, but like, I just see the nature of Conte. It's like this is a guy who wants to be in control and wants to be backed and wants to get his signings. Like, I just don't see
when Poch fails, he'll go to PSG.
Conte is not going to. If Conte goes to Arsenal, he will rip them apart, and he'll he'll either bring in all these players.
To rip apart.
No, I'm talking about like he will bring in all these players that no one wants. He might, they might survive relegation. Yeah.
They bought Pepe and Ramsdale. They've been doing that.
No, I hear that, but like I don't think Conte is going to do much.
He's not.
Honestly, I don't. Like he would have to bring in certain players, like a certain profile of player where they're like 28, 29 years old. Yeah, and it's just like it's not going to help them much because quality-wise, this isn't an Italian league where like Juventus had a really poor season, and some of the big teams that started to they were rebuilding. Like they're still in a transition phase. Yeah. This is the Premier League where the top 6 is very strong, and there are teams that are up and coming. Leeds, Aston Villa, like they're all going to cause problems. I don't know where people think they're going to finish, but I said last season they haven't got a squad that's better than about 8 or 9 teams in this Premier League. I'm not joking.
Even David Moyes and West Ham looks like he's doing bits. Like, let's be real. I think the way that West Ham are going, they'll probably finish ahead. Although I do disagree that Conte will go to PSG if Poch flops. I think Zidane will probably go there because he's still around, not in work. So
no, we're getting Zidane.
I need Zidane out of work for the year, just in case Oli messes up. I need Zidane. Zidane needs to just take a break in it. Take a break out, a year out, and we'll see you in June. We will see you in June.
Yeah.
Right, we should wrap up because I have actually got to go for work at 4. Thank you everyone for watching. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us wherever on socials. Make sure you go and check out Neeks if you haven't already. Mr. Nonchalant himself and RDS will all
Thank
be in the
you.
description. So please go and do that. And Rachel, what's on tomorrow?
What day is it tomorrow? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay. Grounded Chelsea will be back on Wednesday. And then Thursday, you've got Grounded Arsenal, which isn't really grounded, but it's Arsenal anyway. Friday's Broad Watch, and Saturday is Offside Rule. Also got the EFL show on Thursday, actually, as well, a bit earlier, if you're into that sort of content as well. So make sure you check it all out. Yeah, that's basically it. Indy,
Okay,
I can't
people.
end the stream, by the way.
I'll end the stream. It's not a problem. Thank you for watching. Thanks everyone for coming on. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check out Chelsea tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, people.
Bye.
Peace. Cheers. Bye. Bye.